You're watching a special Good News edition of Siouxland News at 5.
Thanks for joining us for a special edition of Siouxland News at 5. I'm Larry Wentz, and welcome to Camp High Hopes here in Sioux City.
And I'm Katie Copple. Now, over the next 30 minutes, you're going to see a newscast you don't typically see, but many ask for, one filled entirely of good news from right here in Siouxland.
Now, you may be wondering why only good news. Well, our staff here at Siouxland News has spent the day out of the office and here at Camp High Hopes.
Our parent company, Sinclair Broadcast Group, and its nearly 200 television stations across the United States, including here at Siouxland News, left the office for Sinclair's Day of Giving.
This Day of Giving gave us the opportunity to turn off our TV cameras and get out of the office and give back to the community.
Our Siouxland News team has spent the day here at Camp High Hopes, helping them gear up for another year of summer camp for kids and adults with disabilities. Here is what they're all about. Tucked in a valley off Correctionville roads, it's a camp unique as the people it serves.
Our whole idea is that our campers feel like just like everybody else.
Camp High Hopes is a place for kids and adults with disabilities, special needs, and chronic illnesses to come and experience things they may not get to otherwise.
Out in the real world, they're told no all the time. No, they can't participate in something because of their disability. No, they can't do this. No, they can't do that. But when they come to camp, we tell them yes, because we have the facilities, we have the equipment, we have the activities that are completely adapted to their abilities. And so they get that feeling of independence and pride and self-esteem.
Dewey is a camper. His mom, Jamie, sees just how impactful camp has been for her son.
I feel really assured that he's getting the best care and that he's getting new experiences, and he's growing and learning every time he comes. There's things that he's still learning that is very hard, and they really have to work on those things. The staff here is fabulous, and they really listen to the needs that we have for him.
With 90 acres of space for adaptive activities, there is something at Camp High Hopes for everyone.
He really has done things here that he cannot do at any other program.
Camp High Hopes is made possible by donations and fundraisers, with every dollar used to make camp accessible for anyone.
Knowing that you are truly making a difference in not only the camper's life, but their family's life too. It's extremely rewarding to see the difference we can make in so many people's lives.
Camp brings joy to so many Siouxland kids, but so too does music. Tonight I take you inside a new music academy with the goal of giving kids an opportunity to play who might not otherwise get the chance.
My favorite thing is learning new songs. I like playing new notes, playing new songs.
I want to continue more piano lessons, but over time I also want to learn new ones.
Inside First United Methodist Church, you can hear the tinkering of piano keys every Monday afternoon.
Skip. Good, so play your C. Now skip.
This is the Music Academy at First, a new program teaching music to kids who may just need it most.
Where do we get these kids involved in music, and how do we get them started in music? Especially for kids that are low income, that can't afford to do some of that stuff.
The Music Academy launched this year, offering free beginner piano lessons to students at Hunt Elementary who qualify for free and reduced lunch.
It offers so many benefits for those kids, makes them better students, and better prepares them for their future.
Piano lessons expanded to hand chimes and string instruments.
To see a kid brighten up and open up and be able to express themselves in this way means everything.
Instructors who want to help these kids find purpose.
You know, all that gives you that expression of music and that love for music, and if we can give that to children who maybe in today's society don't have it in their home.
You know, it's after school, early out on a Monday, they could be going home and watching TV or, you know, doing other things, but they chose to come here and continue these lessons, and some now for the second time, third time.
Lessons are completely free, with instruments and music funded by grants and donations. While its reach is small now, the hope is that the Music Academy can grow to more schools, more students, and more instruments.
To see a child when they come here and never even have touched a piano, and after the first lesson, they're playing Old MacDonald. It's amazing.
Teaching more than just the keys on the piano.
Their confidence grows. They become better public speakers. They become more confident in decision making.
Well, I think it's an experience that they don't get any other way. To experience the creativity that comes from music, the sounds, the appreciation that you have, you don't realize how much you learn from that experience until later in your life.
Reporting in Sioux City.
Nice job.
I'm Katie Copple.
High five. Okay, that's a tough one. All right.
Now, if you'd like to support the Music Academy at First to help this program expand to more schools, more students, and more musical instruments, we will have that information in this story online at siouxlandnews.com.
Kids are such an important part of our Siouxland community, as are our local police department. When they come together, magic happens. Sergeant Tom Gill and Officer Valerie Rose from the Sioux City Police Department stepped off the street and into a Head Start pre-K classroom. They spoke to the kids about safety on the street, like wearing a helmet when riding their bike. The goal, showing the kids that those in uniform are people they can trust in any emergency.
It's just coming out here, establishing those crucial relationships, especially when the kids are young. So again, that way that they know that police officers are their friends, we're there to help them, and they can come to us at anything that they need.
The kids even had a chance to see a police car up close. The Sioux City Police Department routinely visits school students in an effort to promote a positive relationship between Siouxland kids and local law enforcement.
We turn now to our heroes at the hospitals. A surgical unit at Mercy One is bringing comfort items to children after going through surgery. Tonight I introduce you to a family in Mapleton who were met with that comfort in the form of a stuffed animal after a terrible car accident.
It was pretty scary in a car accident.
A day the Gosler family won't forget, getting into a single car accident on October 20th, going headfirst into a tree. 5-year-old Harper remembers the whole thing.
In the car accident, Hunter's mouth was bleeding and he lost like 8 teeth. Mom slid over to the other side, in a passenger side, and she had a broken leg and a broken arm. Hunter had a broken arm.
Hunter and Harper were in the hospital for 6 days, and their mom, Anna, in the hospital for 2 weeks, saying it was a long recovery.
Our night doctor took out my blood with a little shot, and it didn't even hurt, but I screamed a little bit.
It was a little easier having their stuffed animals dressed in wrappings where their injuries were. At Mercy One, stuffed animals are donated from various places, given to kids in operating rooms to help improve a child's experience.
It's been fun, and it's been just kind of a pick-me-up for some things too, especially in the trauma situation. It just kind of helps them get over that little bit of a fear.
Creating a personalized experience.
A lot of times if they're coming in for a broken arm, for instance, we'll use this guy. We always put a hat and mask on everyone, and then we'll wrap whatever extremity the patient's having done. And usually we ask what their favorite color is, so that when they wake up, this will be on the cart next to them.
Something the kids will remember forever, a scary experience that now has a silver lining for Hunter and Harper.
I just want to say thank you to all the doctors and nurses that helped us that day. I know I don't remember much of anything and wasn't a help to them, so having the stuffed animals given to them was just really comforting and giving them something to hug on to when Mom couldn't do it.
Mercy One nurses are taking donations for new with tag stuffed animals. You can find more info on how to donate in this story at siouxlandnews.com. And you've seen him before, the Sioux City man who played catch for 365 days. But did you know during that time he went through a kidney transplant? I sat down with Kevin Negard and the woman who got the gift of a lifetime.
There's just no words because it's literally life-changing.
Karen Ward attends Sunnybrook Church in Sioux City, a recipient of a kidney from church staff member Kevin Negard. It all started with a simple chat on a Sunday morning in the lobby.
She said she was on dialysis and waiting for a transplant, and I asked her what her blood type was, and she looked at me kind of like, what? And I'm like, well, what's your blood type? And when she said B positive, then I just said, well, I think I'm your guy.
She challenged Kevin's thought process, but that didn't change his heart. Still playing catch each day right up before the transplant on December 1st, 2022.
To think that another human would make that sacrifice. I think it hopefully makes everyone step back and think, wow, could I do that? Why don't I do that? And what are my barriers to doing that?
Kevin was out for 5 weeks from playing catch, but found others to fill this role.
There was probably a minute where I'm like, well, let's just wait until after January 17. Then I'm all done and it won't be a distraction or anything. But then I was like, that is the most selfish thing, the most selfish thought I've ever had is like, it's life-changing to the recipient and it's going to cost me 5 weeks of not being able to play catch.
Both have a message of gratitude and faith for Karen receiving the donation of life and Kevin the opportunity to give life.
Kevin said it's my story. I said, no, it's our story, but even further than that, it's a God story. It needs to be a big story because my goal is that it plants seeds in the hearts of everyone to say, what could I do,
Thanks, Taylor. There are so many great stories to share in this special edition of Siouxland News Good News Show.
We're going to take a quick break before we introduce you to a pup who has become quite the local celebrity. Stay with us.
Welcome back. We hope you're enjoying this special edition of Siouxland News at 5, our Good News Show.
We have a lot more heartwarming stories to share with you. Here's Siouxland News reporter Connor Trett.
Noah's Hope Animal Rescue is a nonprofit that's working to help Siouxland animals in need. Tonight I introduce you to one of their newest additions to foster care, gaining a lot of support online. Here is Dustin's Road to Recovery. Since 2007, Noah's Hope Animal Rescue has made it their mission to help homeless, neglected, and abandoned animals and find them loving forever homes. One of the dogs they've been helping is a 15-month-old boxer mix named Dustin, who came into their possession weighing less than 30 pounds.
He was brought in, he was probably hours, maybe a day from death. He was pretty much nothing more than bones. And the vet pretty much stayed with him until he was at a point that he could be left, but he was that close to death. But he's done well, he's bounced back.
Since they got him in early February, Dustin's road to recovery has been documented on the Noah's Hope Facebook page. And since then, he has become a mini celebrity among the page's followers.
It's sort of funny, the first time we took him into Home Depot, we didn't even make it into the store. We were just parking and the car beside us started squealing. And the gal got out and she knocked on the window and said, "Is that Dustin from Facebook? Is that the Noah's Hope dog?" He went in and there were several more people inside that knew who he was from the Facebook posting. And even now when we bring him in, they've got a cashier in there and she always wants to take a picture.
Animals just like Dustin all around Siouxland are in need of foster homes to keep them out of crowded shelters and help them get acclimated to home living. And Noah's Hope is always looking for more foster families.
Fostering for Noah's Hope is a big need. The more fosters we have, the more dogs we can get out of bad situations, more dogs we can get into a loving place so they can turn into a great pet. We try to get all the dogs out of animal control that we can, but in order for us to do that, we need fosters.
If you want to apply to adopt from Noah's Hope, or if you'd like to volunteer as a foster home for pets in need, you can fill out an application on their website, and that information can be found with this story at Siouxlandnews.com.
A sweet woman in South Sioux City is putting a smile on people's faces by repurposing flowers from other life events. Here's her story.
And then we're going to put some baby's breath around there.
Sweet Like Honey is what Robin Lieber calls her new nonprofit, repurposing flowers into personal arrangements, calling them twice blessed bouquets.
They are blessing a family at a celebration of life. At a wedding, they're blessing the bride, but then they go on to bless somebody else.
Flowers are often donated after weddings and funerals.
So as I would be sitting here, I would just be thinking so much about the circumstance that allowed me to get these flowers. Just started word of mouth, telling people what I was doing and calling the funeral homes to say, do you ever have leftover flowers? And they said, are you kidding?
And she gets to create arrangements for senior care centers or hand them out to strangers around town.
Take them apart, give them a fresh cut, give them fresh water, and then put them into smaller vases, and then take them. These specifically went to Countryside. I don't want it to look like it's second hand. I want it to look as fresh as can be.
Each bouquet comes with a special handwritten note of encouragement.
We all need a little dose of encouragement from time to time.
This is no small task. With the help of volunteers and donations, she continues to add smiles and more encouragement around Siouxland.
People can donate vases, donate flowers, they can donate money because it goes for other projects. And so then that gives them an idea how they can be involved. I just go with it.
You can find out more information on all of our stories today by visiting our website, Siouxlandnews.com, or by downloading our free Siouxland News app for your smartphone.
Coming up after this quick break, Connor joins us once again with a story about a high school student who launched his own nonprofit. Stay with us.
Welcome back. As our Siouxland News team continues our work here at Camp High Hopes, we want to introduce you to a high school athlete with a dream to help others.
Here is Siouxland News sports reporter Connor Trett with his story.
Usually when a nonprofit gets off the ground, the founder of that organization typically isn't still in high school. But that's exactly the case at Sioux City North, where one student is looking to make a big impact on Siouxland. If you've spent any time around Sioux City sports in recent years, then you've likely heard of this young man before, Demarco Young. He's shined on the gridiron and track for the Sioux City North Stars, and it's thanks in part to his interpreter, Don Habhab, buying him a pair of cleats when he couldn't afford any so he could play. Now he's paying it forward with the establishment of the Demarco Young Athletic Readiness Foundation, where he'll be collecting new or gently used sports equipment to donate to students in need.
I was homeless and I really didn't have anything. My family was struggling a lot. So the challenges I faced were my biggest inspiration. There's a lot of barriers, and I don't want kids to have to experience what I have. So I want to make a better Siouxland.
Young also mentioned that his foundation will be focused primarily on North High athletics to repay them for what they've given him and to help the students who are in the position he was in just a couple years ago.
I've met many students here who have pretty decent athletic skills, but they just can't. When I ask them to come out for a sport, they said, I just can't afford it. I want to join, but I don't have the money to get the cleats for football or even the practice clothes, simple things. So I want to improve that for our programs. I'll be establishing or setting up boxes around Siouxland for equipment, cleats, shoes, even practice clothes or socks that people can donate in those boxes.
Young's foundation has already garnered a lot of attention here in Siouxland through Facebook and Twitter. And it's even caught people's attention around the nation.
I've had a lot of contact, which is very nice, and Don and Do has as well. So the support is expanding, which is very nice. I've had several discussions with some NFL players. I have major corporations that have spoken up to or are in the process of committing their support.
If you'd like to donate equipment or funds to the Demarco Young Athletic Readiness Foundation, you can contact the board director, Don Dew. Their information and further information on Young's foundation can be found with this story at SiouxlandNews.com.
The Briarcliff football team got out of the workout room and into the gaming room with local kids. The team partnered with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Siouxland for a special mentoring event with games set up throughout the hall of the university campus. Players and kids were able to test their hand or their face at various games, all in an effort to encourage relationships between bigs and littles.
We are always in need of mentors, and you can have such a positive impact on a child's life by just volunteering 4 hours of your time a month. The hope is that some of these guys will be like, wow, this is a great program, and want to volunteer 4 hours of their time a month to mentor a kid.
That mentoring opportunity was an important part of the event for the Briarcliff football team.
A big thing is being a positive role model and showing them what all they have to look forward to in their future. It's more so giving back to the community, being positive role models, and showing them all good time.
If you'd like to volunteer to be a big brother or big sister to a child on this list, you can contact the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Siouxland. We have that information on our website for you now. We aren't done yet. We've got more good news coming up after a quick look at your weather. As we wrap up our special edition newscast here on Siouxland News, we want to take a moment to thank you, our viewers, for the work that you do in our community.
Especially those high school students going above and beyond. Joining us once again is Siouxland News reporter Taylor Deckert.
There are some outstanding students in the Siouxland area. Each month we feature one of them here on Siouxland News. Today we take a look back on our top 3 students going above and beyond for the 2022-23 school year. Starting back last fall, senior Madison Thomas took the Above and Beyond title for October 2022. A senior at River Valley High School in Correctionville who is assisting with elementary PE classes.
That if she does further her education in PE, that she'll enjoy it just as much as I do. She'd be a great teacher. She's great with the kids. So it'd be awesome to see her go into that field.
Thomas hopes one day to have her own PE and health class, as well as a positive influence on incoming students.
Since I've helped Mrs. Ford being a mentor for 6th grade, I just thought hanging with the kids every day, all day is pretty fun.
Across state lines in South Dakota, we introduced you to Cody Morris this last month in March, always at the front doors of the Dakota Valley High School to greet you.
He always has a smile on his face. He stands at the door. He greets everyone that comes into the school. A good morning, staff, students.
He's the Dakota Valley varsity basketball manager, a role he has stepped into over the last few years.
It's been a ride so far, and manager, they've said I'm a good man and I do everything that I'm supposed to, and I just like being involved with the guys.
Cody helped get the Dakota Valley Panthers to not only 1 state championship, but 2.
He's just done a wonderful job. He brings a lot to the team and has helped a lot with our success.
And in February, we highlighted a student at MMCRU in Marcus who stepped up, helping fill a hole in staff as one of their janitors is in recovery from a bus accident. Caden Nunnemeyer started working part-time as a custodian at his high school in May of 2022 to help prepare with upcoming construction.
I just had to take on a little more than I was used to, because usually I only have a few rooms that I handle, but from there I was doing basically the whole high school at that point, taking all their trash, cleaning their rooms up a little bit after school.
The senior also has other peers who are now stepping in to help them clean the school.
I like to think of it that I'm helping our custodians, because I know they do a lot for our school, so I see it more as I'm just easing the burden on them more than anything so they can have more time to themselves.
These students make the world a better place. With a few months left in the school year, we are always taking nominations for amazing students doing outstanding things. You can nominate a student for Above and Beyond at SiouxlandNews.com.
Thank you all for joining us for this special Good News edition of Siouxland News at 5.
Have a good evening, and we will see you back here at 10 p.m. with today's top stories.